Hi, I'm Liz Larson with the Cognomovement Systems. And I have a question. I'm wondering, how is your New Year's resolution going so far? Or, and I won't tell anyone, have you secretly abandoned it? So don't worry, if you have, you're like 99% of the rest of the people on the planet. They set up New Year's resolutions, and a few days in, they actually might forget that they're even doing them, or that they wanted to do them, what they were, or how they've set up to get that to happen is probably the same thing they've wanted to happen last year and the year before and the year before. And yet there's just not a way to get it to happen. So, have you ever wondered why that is? Why you plan out the same thing, why you want to accomplish the same thing for years, and for some reason you just cannot get there? Well, actually, that is something that I want to share the answer with you today. I don't know if that sentence made any sense at all, but I want to share the answer, the secret about that. And it may not be what you ever imagined it was. Sometimes we are, in fact, for most of us, most of the time, we're sort of creating against ourselves and we don't even realize it because we have these ideas in our mind of what we want to create in our lives. And we keep trying to go towards them because they seem like the right thing, when in truth, they aren't. They don't fit for one reason or another. That's big secret number one. So many of the things that we think we want are things that don't fit for some reason. And when we try to get there, we sort of know that they don't quite fit, but we don't know how to get around it. And yet we're still left wanting that thing again and again and again and again. Frustrating, right? So I'm going to share something personal for myself. This whole manifesting game, I came to believe was just a fat, hairy lie, probably created just to frustrate me personally. I mean, the whole idea, put it out there into the world and you'll get it back what you want, and vision boards, none of that worked for me. Or sometimes I would create something just by sheer will of force, and man, did it turn to crap real fast. So I was so sick and tired of this whole idea of manifesting, being told you can manifest anything in the world you want, and yet, didn't work. Set goals, set even well-formed outcomes, and nothing but frustration. So I learned this amazing secret actually relatively recently. And it's not just one thing, it's a grouping of things. But I'll share with you the number one thing that prevents you and me from creating the thing we want in our lives. It's our physical bodies. I know you're going nuts thinking, what is she talking about? It's true. Think about that thing that you've wanted to create for the last X amount of years, or maybe it's 5 minutes. Think about it and immediately notice how your body feels. If you're anything like me or the rest of the planet, you'll feel it right in your gut, your solar plexus, or in your throat. You may even feel it in your head. There's a bit of what feels like tension. A lot of people, like if you listen to Abraham Hicks, they're talking about resistance. That is what it is. It's in the body. Now, here is secret number two. That feeling in the body sends a signal to the brain, and the brain creates a story around it. Okay, so if you're like half the planet, maybe it was losing weight this year, getting on an exercise program, right? Great idea. December 31st, you are gung-ho. You're planning on doing it. The first, maybe you started it. Maybe you looked into it, right? By the 5th, man, that thing doesn't feel that good to do. Or your old patterns kick in, and then the excuses. But what's really underneath of it is a feeling in the body. Something the body is resistant to in creating that thing. And then the brain just makes up a reason. We don't have time. We don't have money. We don't have energy. whatever. And before you know it, you've actually forgotten that you're even doing it, or you've moved on to something else, but it's in the body. Now, here's the next huge thing. And this for me was and is everything. The next thing is that pattern between the gut and the brain, well, it's not really the gut, the body, because it could be anywhere in the body and the brain that's making up that story about why we can't do it. And not that it's saying it's a story that it's not true. It can be true, may not be true. A lot of times it's not, but it's just the story cycling that has real energy, like real energy in it. It costs energy for that pattern to run, but it's also draining energy in our field of potential. Now, for me, guys, this was huge when I finally understood, where the heck is this thing being created? Abraham, she points somewhere and it's out there. Out there where? Or maybe the universe. No, guys, it's actually in our own energetic field of potential. It's right here, 6 to 8 feet, or for some of us, it's 30 or 40, but for a lot of us, it's 6 to 8 feet right here. So this pattern of energy that's running in our body now actually starts to create out here. It starts to create a timeline. It starts to create a story. And dang it, if you didn't know better, you probably could reach out there and find it. But it does, it starts to create energy around that, things that match the energy in our body. No, you can't do that. You don't have the energy. You don't have the money. You don't have the time. And besides that, who the heck do you think you are? Right. So now this is why I titled this video, Are You Creating Against Yourself? Because now inadvertently, the body has a feeling of resistance or whatever the heck emotion it is about that thing you're trying to create, the lack of it, or whatever the story, the resistance. And now that begins to create for you. So of course, it makes perfect sense that all these years, you just have not been able to create that thing. Okay, so now I know you're yelling at the screen right now for me to tell you how to stop it. Well, it's actually quite easy to stop the pattern. We have to stop that feeling in our body. Now, the tool that I like the best is the Cognomovement tool, because we can easily change the way that the body's running that pattern, interrupt it, and delete it from the body, and it no longer exists. So what happens when you get that pattern out of your body? Now you're kind of at neutral. No, you're not kind of, you're at neutral about that topic, the thing you want to create. You don't have a sense of resistance, and you may not even have a sense of, yes, I still want it. Body goes quiet. And guess what? It stops draining your energy, and it stops putting it out here and creating a new timeline around it. Things that match the pattern. It just stops it. It ends it. Okay, so now how do we get closer to the thing we do want? Well, there's two ways we can install a new pattern. We can get really, 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 really clear about what we do want. Now, this is another massive secret that nobody tells you. We make up in our mind, we want to do X. So for so many, it's lose weight, right? But what does that really mean? It's not the end game. So what if you lost 40 pounds and you never went out the front door again? Is that what you really want? So let me tell you a quick story. One of my dearest friends and a Cognomovement user and practitioner as well, she was working on changing something in her body. So we were trying on this technique. Hey, let's get clear. What do you want your body to look like? Well, I want it when I was 30. Well, she's not 30 anymore. And guess what? It doesn't work that way. We don't get to go backwards. So when we're saying, I want to go back to my 30-year-old body, the body goes, well, how do I do that? That's not possible. So number one, stopped. You can't get back there. So what does the body look like now? What would it look like now? What do the arms look like? What does the neck look like? What does the body look like? How does it work? What does it do? And in her case, man, she would love to do some tango. And that's what her body does when she imagines it now. But here's what's amazing. What else happened is when she went down that timeline of what she really wants, what she found is her life works completely differently with a different body, different place to live, different luscious, amazing work. So she was limiting herself to this idea that I want my body to be different and I want it to be back when I was 30. And none of the rest of that particular timeline was available because she didn't know it was there. So if we can get just laser focused, and it takes a technique of knowing how to get down that timeline and see what else is there to get really, really clear. So it's a thing that most of us do not do. Nobody told us how to do it, so why would you know how? But you don't get clear on what else happens in your life when that goal happens, because no goal happens in a vacuum. It's like we say, if you won this huge lotto and they piled up the money in your house, but that money was no good anymore, who cares if you won the lotto? You don't want the money, you want the lifestyle, and the money is a part of it. You don't want the body, you want the lifestyle, and the body is a part of it. So for so many of us, step one, right out the gate, we have a, because we haven't actually told ourselves, the universe, our field, or anybody else what it is we really want. So that getting clear and then getting rid of the resistance completely, creating a new pattern where you feel so amazing about this thing that you could wander around daydreaming it all day long, and that really would be enough. I remember also, I say Abraham Hicks because, you know, she's the queen of this manifesting game, would talk about that. They would say, Abraham, are you trying to trick us into not wanting it? Now I get it. Because the wandering around in it, the enjoying it now becomes so real in the body, not in the mind, in the body, that it really does feel like you already have it. And if you didn't get it, well, that would be okay because you're already moving towards something even greater. That's another huge secret nobody tells you. When you get rid of that pattern of resistance around the thing you want, on the other side of it, you often find something so much bigger than you could have ever imagined wanting. The ideas are so big and so great and so easy, like so obvious to just pluck out and have, that you just can't imagine it. Because the body wants to keep us in our old habits, our old patterns, just to keep us safe. That's all. It's a good body. It's doing its job, but sometimes, all the time, those patterns just aren't resourceful anymore. So how do we put it all together? Well, so this weekend on the 17th, which is Sunday, January 17th, we're putting on a deep dive masterclass into creating the life of your dreams. It is called Manifest 2021, but really it's more than that. For me, it's about learning the tools that every time you want something, and you want something 5 times a day, you have the ability to go, wait, what is my body feeling about that instantly? Does my body feel resistance? Am I feeling any discomfort anywhere, or do I feel amazing about it? If you feel like any discomfort, then what do I do next? How do I get that feeling out so I can be neutral and then decide, what do I really want? Who is it with? What else is happening? What's the timeline? What else am I doing, right? Create the full picture and then get yourself into a place of feeling fantastic about it. At that point, you've actually started to create the timeline. So this Sunday, we're going to take all those things that you want to create, the things that are right now in your vicinity. You cannot be thinking about them unless they're in your local area, in your vicinity. They're here. They're ready for you to have. But you have to get clear on them and start creating the energy toward them. So we're going to actually do that. We're going to take probably the top 4 things that you want to change in your life. And we are going to, first of all, delete the negative feeling out of the body and the negative pattern. We're going to get laser focused on what it is you really want. We're going to start creating that actual physical timeline. Now, I know this sounds fantastic. If you've taken this class already, we did it in December. We did a mini one, just a 3-hour one. And people are already getting amazing results. They started getting amazing results during the session because now they knew exactly what it is they were even trying to create in the first place. So that's the magical thing. So many things change immediately. And immediately after the class, you start to notice how your life is just moving in that direction already. Or maybe you're even 90% there, but you didn't realize it. So with these steps, we're going to do that. We're going to delete it out of the body. We're going to get super clear about what you want. We're going to reinstall it in your timeline. And the big thing that I want to announce today is that Bill McKenna, founder of Cognomovement, will be actually presenting a brand new way to create. He'll be helping us create in the void. It's another way to create really, really cleanly without all the rest of the interference. It'll be so much fun and so amazing. So even if you don't join us this weekend, but I highly recommend that if you're a person who for this year is ready to finally create the thing they want, plus a whole lot of other amazing things, plus some things you never even dreamt about, then join us. This class is absolutely for you. If you're not quite ready to create that thing that you want in your life, if you're not ready for your life to get much bigger, much faster, just consider this. How does your body feel when you think about that thing you want? If it is anything, and I mean anything other than, angels and harps, amazing, positive energy, do your work to get that feeling out of your body. Do something different. Or change the topic. Decide, no, I don't want that thing anymore. I'm going to look into something else. Anything you can do to relieve your body of that sensation, that is what you do to break the pattern. Now, if you are a Cognomovement user already, if you already know this tool, get out your ball. Do just 3 minutes. Collapse that pattern, get that feeling out of your body, and then start over. If you're somebody like me who has 39,000 ideas a day, I want to get those moving now. If I don't feel anything but fabulous, I get out my ball and I do a minute or 3 minutes, and then I start again. Sometimes I realize, oh, no, I didn't even want that in the first place. What I really want is this. And it's little things. My dear friend Marina Ray, one of our fantastic practitioners, said she likes to use it for like swatting flies. So like the little things that are buzzing around that aggravate you, she swats them away with the Cognomovement system. But what she's really talking about is minute by minute manifesting the life that she wants to create, that she's unwilling for it to be anything else, even in the tiny things. We don't realize that those tiny things are manifesting. Those tiny things are creating our much bigger life. So if we can be careful of how we feel in our bodies when any thought comes to mind, and we have the choice to make it feel great, we can create more and more and more, bigger, better, more, every day, every minute. So, all right, you guys, that's what I have to share with you for today. That was my rant about manifesting and some of the secrets you need to know to really make a difference. Some of us now are simply just leaning in to those little things that we want. And in a few minutes, here they show up. In an hour, in a day, we don't worry about it anymore because we know if our energy's clear, we know something bigger is coming, something better, and we just wait for it to show up. It's a Cognomovement joke. Where's my miracle today? But it's really not a joke. We really get to experience it. But it's through this functionality of just knowing how it works, how the body has a lot of control over it, and how we can change that right now, anytime we want. So this Sunday, at cognomovement.com. You can sign up for the Manifest 2021 Deep Dive. It's a 9 a.m. Pacific to 3 p.m. Pacific class. So almost a full day class. The class is $299. If you're a Learning Portal member, you have a discount already built in. You can do that. So, and if you have any questions, reach out to me. I'm Liz Larson with Cognomovement Systems, or Bill McKenna, the founder of Cognomovement, at info@cognomovement.com. Or you can reply to this video on Facebook or YouTube and ask us questions, or join the conversation. How is manifesting working for you? How is creating the life you want working? What is working great and what's not working at all? Join the conversation. And I'd love to hear from you guys. So talk soon. We'll see you on Sunday, or we'll see you sometime down the road. I'm Liz Larson. Bye.